Now that your loan is in processing, things are moving along nicely. My processor has probably already ordered your appraisal, the title report, verifying your employment, those kind of things to make sure that everything looks good. Soon she'll review your loan and get me back a list of what we need to get from you, in addition to what we've already collected from you. And I'll call or email you to try to get those things from you. During this loan process, though, I want to take a little minute to talk about some do's and don'ts of during the loan process. Okay, number one, communicate with your loan officer. It's always better to tell me more information than not enough. We will find out everything about you. It's a little detailed information nowadays, and so if you're thinking, hey, I'll hide this or something like that, don't, because we'll find it out and then maybe we'll have problems and stuff like that. So it's always better to first communicate with me. Let me know what's going on. Okay. Second is provide supporting documentation. So as we started this loan, you got me all the different information such as W-2s, pay stubs, tax returns, bank statements, those kind of things, so that we could support your income, your assets, the things that we need to make sure that we can get you this loan. Okay. Lastly, ask questions. It's always good to ask questions. If you have questions about the process, ask them. As I've said before, my goal is to be your mortgage guy for life, right? So I want to make sure you have a good experience. So if you have questions, ask me. I'm happy to answer them. So here's some things not to do. It's a longer list than the do's, sorry. But here's a couple, or a few things of not to do, okay? Number one, don't shift money between accounts. So a lot of times if you have an online savings account or other accounts or something like that, and you have money in, let's say your down payment is 30 grand and you have 10,000 in one account, 10,000 in another, 10,000 in a third. It's better just to leave them there. We'll get bank statements from all three of them as opposed to transfer them into the one, because then we have to trace all that money. And so that's just more documentation that we'll have to need. So again, better to just kind of leave them where they are. Don't shift money around, because any deposits, any transfers, we have to trace those, okay? Don't make any random undocumented deposits. If you got $5,000 in cash under the mattress and you put it in your account, we're going to see a deposit of $5,000 and we're going to need to know where that came from. If it is cash, we're in trouble, okay? Because cash we can't trace. We don't know where that came from. And back in the bad days, people would just give you cash so that you could look good on paper, and then they'd take that cash back. Obviously not a good thing to do. Things like that happen. So don't make any random undocumented deposits. If you do need to deposit money, talk to me first and let's brainstorm on how best to do that. Don't accept a cash gift without talking to me also. A lot of loans we do, it's okay to get a gift. Mom and dad want to help out, that's fine. There are documentation that we need to get for that, okay? So just talk to me and let's go forward with that. Don't go applying for new credit, okay? Unfortunately, I've had loans where we'll be doing everything, and right before closing, we have to do a soft pull on your credit to make sure you don't get any new debt. And on a refinance I did, a guy, without talking to his wife, that's also bad, right? Ended up getting a new car, and that made it so that they could not qualify for that refinance, which then upset both of them, mainly the wife and the husband, but not a good situation, right? Because when we're starting the loan, we see all the debts and stuff like that, and that's how we've qualified you. If you add debts to that, things change, right? So don't go get any new credit. Along with that, don't go purchase any major items, okay? We do update your balances on your credit cards. As long as it's not too much of a difference, you're probably fine. But if you go buy $10,000 worth of stuff, that's going to show up on your credit cards, and that also may affect your debt to income ratios, okay? Don't forget to pay your bills. I've also had people where they forgot to pay a credit card or their mortgage, and then they get late payments. And if there's a late payment that shows up on that credit report right before closing, we have to repull your credit, and most likely that score is going to drop because you just had a late payment, and that's not good. So make sure you're paying your payments during the time, always, but especially during the loan process, okay? Lastly, don't switch jobs or pay structures, okay? Again, we've qualified you based on the income that you have. If you go from being a salaried employee to a commissioned employee, very different loan, and you may not qualify. So make sure that you are keeping your current pay structure, you're not switching jobs. If you get that job offer and you really want to take it and stuff like that, talk to me. Let's explore some options, see what we can do. Again, that's going back to the first do, which is always talk to me. Let me know what's going on. Hopefully that's been helpful for you. Thanks.